For most of the country, we actually celebrated, as we do every time it rains in Israel, because the Kinneret rose and it's essential to our water supply. But in a small community, gated community called Bat Hever, which is on the border of Tulkarem, literally it borders Tulkarem, the city under Palestinian Authority control. For them, it was anything but a blessing. I mean, you had 400 houses sustain damage. You had water up to 1.7 meters high. Families, about 40 to 60 families, totally lost everything, lost their entire homes. They're going to have to do a renovation. They'll be out of their houses for 6 months. So for them, it was a disaster. There was a gap, actually, in the security barrier, which is the source of all the water which came in from Tulkarem, from the Shechem River, and it just overflowed into the city. And there were literally certain cases where people were holding on for their lives, afraid that they were going to be swept up in what then became a river.
Now, you were there today. What did you see there?
Today, I saw a lot of sanitation crews on the scene, because a lot of the water was mixed with mud and sewage. Cleaning up, I saw a lot of houses which were totally damaged, totally gutted. All the people's properties were in their front yards, and the residents are no longer there. They're either renting apartments or staying by friends and family in different parts of the country. It is just a pool of a mixture of water, mud, sewage, etc., and the people there are really, really suffering now a week later.
Now, you weren't there just to see how it looks. You came there on a mission.
Yeah, I actually, it's the power of social media. I got a Facebook message from a person I never met who lives in the area asking for help, saying, somebody, can you do something? Reach out to Bat Hever. And within 24 hours, thanks again to social media, which obviously we see it can be used for good in certain situations, I was able to spread the message out to Gush Etzion, Beit Shemesh, Ramat Beit Shemesh, Yerushalayim. Even the people in Migron somehow got wind of the campaign, and they also donated clothing and shoes and pots and pans and blankets and the essentials that people don't have. It's winter now in Israel, it's cold at night, and these are things that they desperately needed. So through a volunteer, a man named Mark, who I never met in my life, he sent me a Facebook message because of my connections in the world of journalism. Said, is there anything you can do? Next thing you know, 24 hours later, I was driving my small Mazda 3 full to the brim. I couldn't see out of my back window, full of donations from literally 6 or 7 different places. Ma'ale Adumim, Jerusalem. People really gave with all their hearts.
And how were the responses in Bat Hever?
They're extremely, extremely grateful towards not only this batch of goods which were donated, but to all the volunteers who over the last 5 days have come out literally to clean and to scrub using chemical products with brooms and all sorts of things. You had companies who donated clothing, like Fox donated clothing to the residents as well, and different cleaning companies donated their products to the community. So they are extremely grateful on one hand. On the other hand, they know it's a long road ahead of them. They're negotiating with the government now in order to obtain some kind of compensation for the lost damaged property. And one of the big problems is a lot of the people there, a good portion of them, did not have full insurance on their homes. They may have had homeowners but not property insurance, or vice versa. Some didn't have any. I mean, you're talking about a gated community where it's quiet, where you don't have a lot of crime, etc. So a lot of people, unfortunately, took the chance of not purchasing insurance. So those people were hit the hardest. You have 100+ cars were damaged, destroyed in the flood. And again, people, thank God, nobody lost their life. But there were people. There was a 6-year-old man who was hanging onto a pergola for 3 hours, afraid if he moved he'd be swept away in the overflowing river. So thank God he's okay. But in terms of financial loss, you're talking about 40-50 million shekel in loss. I guess it's Israel's version of Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. It's, I guess, on a smaller level. But to the people of Bat Hever, this is their life. And totally, in some cases, destroyed, all their property destroyed as a result.